Good evening to all the NEET aspirants. This is your Prasanna ma'am from NEET World. So yes, in our previous session, which is long back, but then in our previous session we have completed vegetative characteristics of the chapter Morphology of flowering plants. We have finished what ma? Vegetative characters. From vegetative characters, quite a few years, like in very alternative years, you will get the questions, but floral characters that we are going to deal with now, every year in the NEET examination you will get a question for sure from the floral characters. Okay, that important these are. So in floral characters, what all are the things that we are going to cover? First thing is inflorescence. Types of inflorescence, racemose and cymose. In that again, racemose inflorescence classification, cymose inflorescence classification is not required for you, that is required for EAP set. If you can predict the actual differences between racemose and cymose inflorescence, that is enough beta. After racemose and cymose inflorescence, you will go to the reproductive organ of angiosperm, that is flower. Okay, flower, the four whorls of flower, two essential and two non-essential whorls, and based on the position of the ovary, how other floral parts are present over the thalamus, based on that we have three types of flowers again: hypogynous, perigynous, epigynous flower, that we will be looking into. After that, symmetry of the flower. Okay, asymmetric, radially symmetrical, bilaterally symmetrical. Based on that we have asymmetric flowers, actinomorphic flowers and zygomorphic flowers. And then we will be looking into aestivation, how petals and sepals are arranged in the flower. Okay, what is the arrangement of sepals and petals, that is aestivation. And then we will be looking into placentation. Placentation is nothing but the arrangement of ovules inside the ovary. These are all the things that we are going to cover in today's session. Okay, and we will be finishing off this chapter by looking into the seed and fruit as well, types of fruits as well. After that we will exercise all the NEET PYQs of this chapter, and then we will move to anatomy. If anatomy is done, NCERT 11 will be done for us. Okay, so yes beta, stay focused. This is very important. I am telling you, every year you will get a question from the floral characters of morphology of flowering plants. In this on and above, examples should be highlighted beta. You have to fix it in your mind at any cost. Keep abbreviations, mnemonics, whatever you want, but you have to fix it in your mind. Okay, so here you see the inflorescence first. What is inflorescence? Arrangement of flowers on the floral axis. Okay, in the inflorescence, I think you have observed many types of inflorescence, wherein small floral or florets, they will be arranged like this. Yes or no? In the spring season especially, they will be blooming out. Okay, such types of inflorescence I think you have observed everywhere. So how a floral meristem is formed? Okay, these florets are arranged on the floral axis. How a floral meristem is formed? Floral meristem is nothing but shoot apical meristem only. Okay, so if you have to consider this as a plant ma, okay, you know the axillary bud which is there, this axillary bud will develop either into a leaf or into a stem or into a branch or into a floral axis. Okay, how the axillary bud is modifying to floral axis, or how shoot apical meristem is modifying to floral axis is, the axis will get condensed. How it will be condensed? By reducing the internodal length. Okay, these explanations are important beta when multi-statement questions or assertion reason questions are asked. You should know which part of the plant or which vegetative structure is modifying to floral meristem. How is it modifying? By reducing the structure, and internodes will not elongate, condensation of the internodes. Understood not till here? So this, when the axis get condensed, internodes will not elongate, and this forms what? Pedicel. Okay, pedicel will bear flowers. Got it? Yes or no? This slide is clear to you now. What is inflorescence? How floral meristem is formed? What is a pedicel? And over pedicel what is present? Flowers are present. First, over the stem beta, if you have to consider, this is the common stem. This is called as peduncle. Peduncle can bear multiple pedicels. Okay, pedicels will bear flowers. Got it? Understood no? Got an idea? Yeah. Now you see, inflorescence. So, the apex of peduncle produces different kinds of floral appendages in the successive pattern like this. Okay. So, that arrangement, based on that arrangement and length of the floral axis, we have two types of inflorescence. One is racemose inflorescence, second one is what? Cymose inflorescence. Racemose inflorescence, if you see, what are the key characteristic features? In racemose inflorescence, the main axis is indeterminate, means it grows continuously. It is indeterminate, it is very long, main axis is long. Flowers are borne laterally in acropetal succession. Okay, acropetal succession means oldest flowers will be at bottom, youngest flowers will be at the top. Oldest flowers will be at the bottom and younger ones will be at the top. Next, flowers arise centripetally. What is centripetal? From center to, then what is centrifugal?
From outside to the.
Okay, let me connect it. We have learned cytokinesis of a plant cell and animal cell, no? In plant cell, how cytokinesis is taking place? Centrifugal, means from to periphery. So, if it is from center to periphery, it is centrifugal. If it is from periphery to center, that is centripetal. Okay. So, if it is from center to periphery, it is centrifugal. If it is from periphery to center, centripetal. Clear, right, ma? Both of you? Yeah. So, flowers are centripetally arranged, that is from periphery, means oldest flowers are at from the end and youngest will be at the center. Okay. Next, youngest flowers are at the center, older flowers are at the base. This is centripetal mode of arrangement. So, what are the key features that you have to remember, beta? Racemose inflorescence, main axis is indeterminate, flowers are laterally arranged in the acropetal succession, flowers are borne centripetally, youngest flowers are at the center, oldest flowers are at the base. Clear, no? Next, cymose inflorescence. Okay. Here main axis is determinate, main axis will terminate to what? A flower. Okay. Main axis terminates to a flower, and here peduncle is of limited growth. Okay. Peduncle is of limited growth and flowers are borne in a basipetal order. Okay, flowers are borne in a basipetal order and flowers arise centrifugally. Okay, flowers will arise centrifugally. So, here what are the key features of cymose inflorescence, beta? Main axis will terminate into a flower, peduncle shows limited growth, flowers are borne in a basipetal order, flowers arise centrifugally. Centrifugally means youngest flowers will be at the base, oldest flowers will be at the center. Got it? Can you see here? Okay. Clear with racemose inflorescence and cymose inflorescence, no? Any doubt anywhere? No, right? Yeah. So, now if you see the reproductive unit of angiosperm is what? Flower. Flower is the reproductive unit of angiosperm. Flower consists of how many whorls? 4 whorls. Of which how many are essential, ma? 2 whorls are essential. What are they? Androecium and Gynoecium. Androecium and Gynoecium. Androecium will consist what units? What happened, Abdul? Single or many stamens, right? Each stamen will have one filament and anther. Mostly anther is bilobed. Okay. What happened? Any doubt? Why that question mark on face? Gynoecium can have single or multiple carpels. Okay. Gynoecium you can use pistil as synonym for it. Okay. It can be monocarpellary or multicarpellary, but each carpel is a single unit of what? Stigma, style, ovary. Stigma, style, ovary. Okay. Non-essential whorls include what, ma? Calyx and Corolla. Calyx has what units? Calyx has sepals. Corolla units are clear. These are the simple terms, the basic terminology if you have to go through morphology or if you have to go through sexual reproduction of flowering plants of your NCERT 12. Okay. So, yes, if a single flower consists of both Androecium and Gynoecium, such flowers are said to be what? Bisexual flowers. Bisexual flowers are also termed as monoecious. Parallelly take down. Okay. Unisexual flowers are also called as what? Dioecious. Clear? If it is done, let me know. Basic terminology, if this is not clear in your mind, then how you can go through all this? Done, ma? Done? Yeah. Here you see. So, based on the symmetry of the flower, flowers are classified into asymmetric, actinomorphic and zygomorphic flowers. What is asymmetric flower? You divide the flower in any plane, it will not be divided into two equal halves. The flower is not divided into two equal halves, that is called as what? Asymmetric flower. Asymmetric flower best example is what? Canna. Okay. And actinomorphic flowers. Actinomorphic flowers are those flowers, if you divide the flower into any plane, by any plane the flower is divided into two equal halves. Such symmetry is called as what, ma? Radial symmetry. Radial symmetry. Many a times the question is asked on actinomorphic flower and zygomorphic flower. Examples are important. See, for actinomorphic flower, what is the example? Chili, mustard, datura. Chili, mustard and datura. And zygomorphic flowers will follow what symmetry? Bilateral symmetry. Means by only a single plane you can divide the flower into two equal halves. What are the examples of this? Pea, bean, cassia, gulmohar. Here a little application. Which type of aestivation usually follows zygomorphic type of symmetry? So, your answer should be vexillary aestivation. Vexillary aestivation. What is vexillary aestivation? Usually observed in Fabaceae family. Good, Raghav, turning pages. One standard petal, two wing petals and two keel petals, right. So, by single plane you can divide it into two equal halves. So, those flowers which follow vexillary aestivation will definitely have what type of symmetry? Zygomorphic symmetry. And one more point to be added over here, ma. So, in few of the flowers, for example, those plants which belong to Liliaceae family, they do not have calyx and corolla, sepals and petals in separate, they are fused or reduced to what? Perianth. Okay. In few families like what? Liliaceae, sepals and petals are reduced to perianth. Okay, sepals and petals get reduced to perianth. Clear, ma? Done? Yeah. Examples are important, again I am telling you. See, so here you can see actinomorphic flower. Chili, mustard and datura can be divided into any equal plane. Raghav, look here, zygomorphic flower. See, P, it is having vexillary aestivation, standard petal, wing petals and keel petals. Okay. This flower is what? P plant flower, and next cassia, gulmo, bean. Fine. Next. Here you see, based on the number of floral appendages, we have trimerous flowers, tetramerous flowers and pentamerous flowers. And then based on the position of floral parts on the thalamus, position of the floral parts with respect to ovary, over the thalamus. If you have to see hypogynous flowers, here ovary is at the superior position, at the highest position. Ovary is at the highest position and other floral parts are below the ovary over the thalamus. Over thalamus, which is highest position? Ovary. So, you are calling it as what, beta? Superior ovary. Other floral parts are below it. Okay. Examples include what? Mustard, China rose and brinjal. If you can see perigynous flower, in perigynous flower, ovary position is at the center. Okay, ovary position is at the center and other floral parts are present at the rim of the thalamus. Rim of thalamus. Fine. Ovary position is at the center and other floral parts are present at the rim of the thalamus. As such, you have what type of ovary, Nana? Half inferior, half superior ovary. I will tell you, see, same diagram, question is asked in NEET 2024. Many students missed the question. The diagram is directly from the NCERT. But then when two diagrams are given, they got confused whether this is perigynous or epigynous flower bolke. So that is the reason each and every diagram should be watched with equal concern and focus. Epigynous. But then two diagrams are given, right? Instead of single diagram, two diagrams are given. One flower is long and one flower is short. That is enough to confuse your brains.
But it's not infused with the ovary wall.
Infused with the ovary wall. Infused. But many students are not as bright as Raghav. Na? That is the problem. Many made mistake, Raghav.
Okay.
Yeah. I will see. The same diagram I will give you, I will see what you will do. Fine. Rather than being overconfident, na, look into each and every example in a detailed way. Next is epigynous flower. Here ovary, as you said, it got completely infused inside the thalamus. So here what type of ovary is seen? Inferior ovary. Other floral parts are above the thalamus. Examples here you can see is flowers of guava, cucumber, ray florets of sunflower. These are the examples. Clear, right, ma? So hypogynous flower examples are mustard, China rose and brinjal. Perigynous flowers, plum, rose, peach, where the ovary is half inferior and half superior, and other floral parts are present where? At the rim of the thalamus, and epigynous flower has inferior ovary, wherein other floral parts are present above the thalamus. Examples include flowers of guava, cucumber and ray florets of sunflower. Any doubt anywhere, beta? Examples are very important. Every year or every alternative year you will get a question. See, 4 points, 4 plug points I will tell you. One is symmetry of the flower, that we have learnt, asymmetric, actinomorphic, zygomorphic. Second is position of the flowers, hypogynous, perigynous, epigynous. Third is aestivation, okay, arrangement of floral parts. Fourth is placentation. From these 4 domains, every year you will get a question. Every year, undoubtedly. Okay, fix it. Next, see, calyx. Okay, calyx have what units, beta? sepals. Okay, if these sepals are free from each other, it is called as what? Polysepalous. If sepals are united with each other, it is what? Gamosepalous. Polysepalous and gamosepalous. If calyx is still persistent even after fruit formation, that is called as what? Persistent calyx. Persistent calyx. Okay, and there are few bract-like structures above the calyx, that is called as epicalyx. Epicalyx is observed usually in brinjal. Okay, persistent calyx observed in tomato. Done? Part of calyx. Bracts which are grown above the calyx. Corolla. Corolla has what units, ma? Petals. If petals are free from each other, polypetalous. If petals are united, gamopetalous. Clear, right? Clear with the basic terms? And we can observe different shapes of the petals beta. Like tubular type of corolla is observed in disc florets of Asteraceae members. Okay, in disc florets of Asteraceae members, what is the shape of corolla? Tubular. Funnel shaped corolla is seen in Datura. Bilipped shape is observed in Ocimum. Okay. These are different shapes. And next is aestivation. Take down, you have time. I will give you 2 to 3 minutes. Done, ma? Yeah. Next is what? Aestivation. What is aestivation? Arrangement of sepals and petals. Okay, in a flower, arrangement of sepals and petals is called as aestivation. First is what is valvate aestivation. Valvate aestivation is nothing but sepals and petals will not overlap with each other, they just touch each other. Okay, sepals and petals, they just touch each other. That is called as what? Valvate aestivation. Can you see it clearly? So, the example of valvate aestivation is what? Calotropis. Calotropis is the example of valvate aestivation. Second is twisted aestivation. Here sepals and petals will overlap with each other in a uniform direction. Okay, sepals and petals overlap in uniform direction. Okay, sepals and petals will overlap in a uniform direction. Examples include China rose, cotton and lady's finger. Here they are. Important, highly important. I don't know how you will remember it. By mnemonics might be. Anyways, you have to remember it for sure. Done? Next. Imbricate aestivation, where sepals and petals will overlap with each other but not in a uniform direction. Okay? Sepals and petals overlap with each other but not in a uniform direction. Uniform direction. Clear, right? Sepals and petals will overlap but not in a uniform direction. Examples, Acacia and Gulmour. Next is vexillary aestivation. In vexillary aestivation, you can see there will be one standard petal followed by two wing petals and then two attached keel petals. Observed in the flowers of Fabaceae members, best examples include P and B. Take down P and B. Standard petals, wing petals and keel petals.
By which petals is the ovary enclosed by? Like the standard or?
In bud condition, it will be enclosed by all the petals and sepals. When it is blooming out, it will not be enclosed. Ovary will be attached on the thalamus. Get a flower, tomorrow I will explain. Not joking. If there is a hibiscus flower, get it. To explain you in proper way about all the floral parts, especially about Androecium and Gynoecium. Done? Then Androecium, if you see, Androecium is composed of stamens. Okay, stamens has a long filament and usually bilobed anther. This filament whose proximal end is connected to thalamus and distal end has anther. Distal end has anther. Okay, proximal end and distal end. Next, anther which is bilobed has what? Pollen grains. Bilobed tetrathecus and it has pollen grains inside it, which gets into dithecus and pollen grains will be released after maturity. That process and all we will learn in detail in sexual reproduction of flowering plants. Till here though it is clear, Nama? Now you have to know about few more things like cohesion and adhesion of the stamens. First term, that is staminoid. Staminoid is nothing but a sterile stamen which does not produce the pollen at all. Okay, stamen which is not producing the pollen grain, that is called as what? Staminode. And Androecium exhibits cohesion and adhesion. If stamens are attached with each other, if there are 2 to 3 stamens in a flower, they are attached to each other. Stamens attached to each other is said as cohesion beta. If stamens attached to either gynoecium, other floral part, or if stamen attached to petals, which is again another floral part, that is known as what? Adhesion. What is cohesion? Attachment between the stamens. Adhesion, stamen attached to other floral parts, be it essential or non-essential floral part. So, as such, when stamen is attached to a petal is called as what? Epipetalous condition. For example, brinjal. Okay? Epiphyllous, when stamen attached to perianth. Stamen attached to perianth. In the beginning of the session I told you, okay, perianth is reduced form of what? Calyx and Corolla, observed mostly in which family? Liliaceae family. So, here stamen attached to perianth. Example, lily. Clear? Take down quick, 2 minutes I will give you. Take it roughly. Done ma? Androecium. So, Androecium cohesion is what? Stamens attaching with each other. First is what? Monodalphous condition. If stamens forming a single bunch is called as what? Monodalphous condition. Best example is China rose, that is hibiscus. Okay. Second is what? Diadalphous condition. This forms two bunches. For example, if you see in Fabaceae members, total 9 stamens will form one bunch. 9 stamen will form one bunch and one more stamen arises separately. So, that is what? Diadalphous condition. Here you can see 9 stamens and one separately forming 2 bundles, that is diadalphous condition P. Next is what is polyadelphous condition. Polyadelphous condition, multiple bunches or multiple bundles of stamens are observed. Example is citrus, which belongs to Rutaceae family. Important cohesion and adhesion, many a times asked question ma. Many a times questions asked on cohesion and adhesion of Androecium. Done. Next you see variation in the length of filaments. Just a second. One thing I would like to highlight here in adhesion, epipetalous and epiphyllous you have taken, right. Take one more condition, that is syngenesious. Syngenesious condition is where stamens attach to gynoecium. Observed in China rose. Important. Take down. Okay. Next. Done? No, because the immediate wall of Androecium is what? Either petal or gynoecium. Variation in the length of filaments. See, in the same flower, Androecium has multiple stamens, but then the filament length of the stamens can vary. Okay. So, that variation in the length of filaments is observed in Salvia and Brassica. Take down. Variation in the lengths of filament is observed in Salvia and Brassica. That is why in Brassicaceae family we will learn a condition called as tetradynamous condition. Tetradynamous condition. Tetradynamous condition. Next is gynoecium. Gynoecium, as we have discussed, this can be also called as pistil. It has carpel as the unit. Single carpel has single stigma, style and ovary. It can be unicarpellary or multicarpellary. So, here monocarpellary or multicarpellary. Multicarpellary, again those carpels can be free or fused with each other. Okay. Carpels can be free like this, or fused. Like this. Fine, it can be free or fused. If it is free, that condition is called as what ma? Apocarpous condition. For example, lotus and rose. If they are fused, it is syncarpous condition. For example, mustard and tomato. Clear with it? Clear with it? Done, ma? Here we go. Last segment of today's session, that is placentation. Placentation is nothing but arrangement of ovules inside the ovary. So, here you know single unit of carpel, that is stigma, style and ovary. In this ovary, what are arranged? Ovules are arranged. Post fertilization, which parts of this will turn into seed? What part will turn into seed, you tell me? Ovule turns to seed. Good, Abdul. Ovule turns to seed post fertilization. Ovary wall, you can say, or ovary. Ovary will turn to what? Fruit, which is nothing but this part will turn to fruit, and ovules which are present inside it will turn to what? Seeds. This arrangement of ovules inside the ovary we are learning now. I think you got it in your mind. Yes. So, as such, here if you see in the marginal placentation, ovules are arranged on the ventral suture of the ovary. Okay, ovules are arranged on the ventral suture of the ovary. Best example is P, and you can include all the examples of Fabaceae family. Clear, right? Next, axial placentation. In axial placentation, what happens is, beta, placenta is present in the axial position and ovules are arising inside, forming locules or chambers. Understood? Okay. Placenta is in the axial position, ovules are present inside, forming locules or chambers. Clear, right? Next is what? Parietal placentation. Parietal placentation, where ovules are present at the peripheral side. Okay, ovules are present in the inner wall of the ovary. Okay, that is parietal placentation. Best example is mustard and argemone family, Brassicaceae family, here you can take. Okay, and for axial placentation you can take Solanaceae family. Fine, Solanaceae and Liliaceae as well. Next, free central placentation, where ovules arise freely at the center. Okay, they do not form any locule or chamber. Ovules arise freely at the center without forming any locules or chambers, is called as free central placentation. Best example is what? Dianthus and primrose. Next, single ovule. Ovule is present at the base. Single ovule is present inside the ovary. Then it forms what? Basal placentation only. Okay, where placenta will be at the base and ovule is situated at the base. Basal placentation. For example, what? Sunflower and marigold. Sunflower belongs to Asteraceae family. Okay. So, here note down the families as well, ma. Here it is Fabaceae, Solanaceae and Liliaceae. This is parietal placentation, Brassicaceae, sunflower, marigold. Here you can add on Asteraceae. Clear? Take some time and finish it off. Done. What all we have discussed in today's class, one question will be in your NEET for sure. Again I am telling you what all we have discussed in a flower based on symmetry classification, based on position of the ovary classification, Androecium, cohesion and adhesion is important, Aestivation and Placentation, 5 segments. Examples important. Okay. We are left with what ma? Fruit and seed. We will finish it in the next class, and families. Okay, families we will do it comparatively, it is easy only, and we will also practice NEET PYQs also. Monday session, be ready, huh? Yeah, that's all for today's session. Thank you.